Hello, welcome to Z Explains BG. I am Z. We are watching Albert Steg and David Kornwitz play their occasional 9-point match on BackgammonHub.com. I thought I'd do a little commentary, get a little commentary in. We got Albert on the bottom, David on the top. Looks like Albert is down 1-2. This game in particular looks pretty close at this point. Maybe Albert has a little bit of an edge here, being on roll. Nothing it should be cubing though. He's 8 away, which maybe leads to slightly aggressive doubling. But even so, yeah, he doesn't have nearly enough here. 2-2 by David, taking the lead, I believe. And yeah, I would probably make the 5, even though it gives up sort of a good blocking point. I think the 5 is more important. Actually, I'm not sure because the 10-point is made. Right, the 10-point bears on the open 5-point, and so when you go 7-5, the 10-point becomes less valuable. I think I would still end up doing this, but it's less clear to me now that I noticed the 10-point, right? So okay, so he does this. So I guess if he did some hitting, obviously he wants the 5 and not the 7. I'm sure there'll be some hitting at some point. 2-2. Okay, this doesn't actually play that good, surprisingly. I don't know, 13-9 squared is a play, but I don't know, leaving the shot on the midpoints. So maybe it's 10-4, 10-8 or something, or maybe 10-4, 13-11 if you want to take on a little extra risk for better building power. Yeah, I probably wouldn't give up the mid. Oh, this is okay too. Keeps the 10-point, but like the 10-point and the 4-point don't really go together. So, well, this might be better than what I was thinking. It's not. It's not clearly better. 10-point is worth something, I guess. Anyways, Albert. Okay, so Albert's finding a hit. Sort of makes sense because he does want to try to contain that back checker, which is sort of desperate to escape. So this creative play, I think it actually might be right. Like this gives Black a free chance to like attack or get out of there. And Black's structure is still pretty decent after switching to the 3-point. In fact, again, White's 10-point has more value after White switches to the 3-point because it bears on the open 6-point. So I think I actually would have made that 3-point there actually, like Albert was initially thinking. Not that you probably can't even double the dance, but still, I think it's a better plan. Okay, great shot by Albert, who does not overlook the hits. Okay, so you just go 6-2 and maybe take a cue, maybe. Maybe White still does have that blot in the outfit. I think this is either double. I think this is double take. He's in the race still too. He's a little worried about being gammoned, I guess. Yeah, I think the take pass is more the question. I probably would have tried that one, given that it's tough for White to attack against that strong Black position. Although the score maybe does argue for a pass there. 8 away, 9 away. Like it could be take for money, pass up the score pretty easily. So it's possible David had the right idea there, but I still would have been a little tempted, I think. That's interesting though. Like it's a take if 7 away is doubling 8 away. It is possibly a pass if 8 away is doubling 7 away. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so it looks like Albert's attacking here. Gets a Cuban on the dances. Given that, there's probably some value in not reducing volatility, not leaving any shots here. Like it's sort of overkill on the dances maybe here. Little bits. But no, this is better. It's better if this Black rolls a 3-2 or something. Yeah, you want this nice structure. Let's see what Albert decides on. Yeah, Yeah, this is too passive, I think. This doesn't really give him anything. Like the other ways, you're doubling the dances. Here, it's a little hard to see how White's going to get in a decent double after a play like this. So I would play 13 to 1, hitting along the way. It also minimizes. I was going to say it minimizes the chance of the black anchors, but that's not true. Yeah, this looks good, and the double a dance. Double a dance. Like it's not super clearly a take, so yeah, I would double this in the second. Yes, black. Yeah, black can maybe take. I mean, it's 11 in the zone, which is kind of a lot, though. He does have things going for black, though. There's no other blots other than the two exposed ones on White's side of the board, and black has an 11 point. On the other hand, White splits. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have let that go, but I'm not clear on it. The score's probably no big deal. Score's very money-like there. All right, anyways, he does get to anchor, so what do I know? He rolls a bad 6-5. I don't know, maybe it's best to play 22 to 11 here just because it plays purely destructively elsewhere. And then this is sort of bad because you might get attacked, but it's also sort of good in that, you're only leaving one blot and you're escaping a guy. It's just got sort of both upside and downside. So I like how David played that one. Okay, Albert could continue the attack here. Looks like he's making the 7. So I would play 13 to 3. He's got this ace point made, so that's at least this blitzing approach. So okay, yeah, so good play by Albert, I think. And now he should not overlook the cover. Don't overlook the cover. Good. All right, David should be thinking about minimizing here. Although 13 to 7 does duplicate 6s somewhat, and a little bit 3s, but probably not. Yeah, I would do this. Oh no, he does not. He's maybe not surviving because Albert can hit here, which he should. Yeah, everything else is a big blunder. Black has a blot on the other side of the board, so yeah, definitely this. Black gets a nice shot and pops out. Okay, Albert does get to hit and then do something semi-productive with the 4. Would not play 8 to 4 here. Yeah, this is better for covering next turn, but I don't like that. It goes below the 5 points, the open 5 point. So I probably would have played 24 to 20 there. Work on the backman a little bit. Although this did seem to work perfectly for him. All right, well, worked perfectly for a roll. Yeah, he could be. I don't know if it would have, my plan would have worked better, but probably not. Okay, it would instinctually hit here. It's pretty dangerous. So I'm not sure about it. He could try 13 to 11, but he's down in the race so much that maybe we should take a little chance there. This is at least 5 shots anyways. So probably that was an error, not hitting there. All right, so okay, so 6-6, nice shot by David. Yeah, offhand I would do this. Yeah, I can't really see that one clearly. I would need more time there. And it seemed like there was a bunch of reasonable options. But David's play sort of seemed like the standout play. Like if anything was right by a lot, it was David's play. Oh, all right. Good. We get missed. He's doing fine. Oh, does get missed. Oh, I see David paused to think about the cube there for a second. Yeah, didn't really look like much. Okay, so he's got to leave a direct shot here somehow. So 15 to 12 should minimize risk. Oh, I see. He's leaving a few extra shots now. Actually, no, it's the same. But the same number of shots maybe. 5 5s and 2. No, 17 shots. Yeah, the other one. If you played 15 to 12, you would have left fewer shots. But this may be better when missed because maybe better when missed because it's easier to get off the 15 point than the 16 point later. On the other hand, it's going to be harder to safety this blot. Yeah, case in points. I was making the 12. Making the 12 might be a play, although that's 17 shots to make the 12. This is only 12 shots, so I would minimize. It seems like a huge difference in the number of shots, and you might still have some problems coming home after the other play. I'd have to think more about that one though. All right. Okay, so this is David's 5-3. This is 2s and 8s, which are well diversified. Okay, so actually this is 15 shots. Because there's 12 2s, and there's only 3 8s that don't contain a 2. Well duplicated, I should say. Boy, no one's hitting anything. And then David should probably be staying back with his blot here, you know. Not all 2s hit effectively. The race is so bad. Although I probably would have crossed over twice and win the race a little more. Okay, looks like Albert's going to take this one. Although it's not completely gin. It's going to be likely going to be 4-2. 5 away, 7 away. So David should be playing a little gammon go-ish and try to get in like a quick gammonish cube. And Albert should be playing a little conservatively. With the checkers, I mean, and with the cube probably. Yeah, so the 5 away player, the 7 away player should take pretty deep. Because the 5 away player, even in non-gammonish positions, because the 5 away player doubles and 7 away player passes. The 5 away player gets to sort of this comfortable 4 away score where he gets to use the cube pretty aggressively despite being up in the match. So the take, I don't know what the numbers really say, but in non-gammonish positions, the take point's going to be a lot lower than money. All right, so Davis 2. Why not make the 11 here? I mean, the 11 points are good assets. You make the 11 and split, and everything else is a pretty solid error. Oh, I see. I know he's up in the race. Yeah, so he should be getting. Yeah, that was a pretty big error because he should be getting the backman going. He should not be concentrating on like a priming game while he has the low point in his board made and he's up in the race. He should be concentrating on getting the backman going. And there was a very convenient play that did that there, 13-11, 24-23. Now, you don't have to make the 11 because White had a blot in his board. You could do some other play that splits. But yeah, some sort of split play was right. Yeah, now Albert's like, you see Albert's constant. So Albert's, Albert's down in the race and has the better priming structure. So Albert's sort of appropriately concentrating on building, where David should be concentrating on getting the hell out of there. All right, decent shot by Albert. David, I don't know. I mean, this looks sort of natural, but the backmen are a little stuck. They have a pretty good asset, though. 5-2 plays somewhat conveniently by doing this. All right, 2-2. Yeah, I think you keep your 8 point for better block and because you get to move the backmen more. So I think you play 12-8, 23-21, 24-22 here. Again, up in the race, you really need to get those guys going. So again, I think this is a pretty big error. I think a good shot by Albert punishing this play. Yeah, again, well, now the race is closed, but this anchor looks pretty bad. Yeah, would not cube this, so Albert has this nice positional edge. Bad number here. I mean, Black's in like really big trouble. So this is either double pass or too good, And it was because David didn't concentrate enough on getting the backman going. All right, so Albert plays on. I assume he thinks he's too good here. But he gets a horrible number. All right, let's see if he's going to cash this one in. Yeah, it's still a pretty big pass. A lot of blots flapping around. I don't think you're getting black to take this. So okay, so he plays on. Okay, yeah, there's a few ways to play this one. I mean, this hits. I guess you don't want to hit twice and like give black a chance to hit. So yeah, one of the hidden cover plays is correct, and maybe Albert probably had the right idea because you can hit that. You maybe have more chance to hit the guy on your side of the board later. So that was probably a good play by Albert. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, could try to win this. Go to the 22 points. I don't think this makes much sense because you're just gonna crunch horribly. Yeah, I would have played bar 22 there. And I know I'm getting pointed on and stuff, but you get pointed on. That's not good for you. But it does maintain your timing for the deuce point game a little bit. Like you don't have to play your big numbers, for instance, crunching on your side of the board. So it seemed like overwhelmingly better for the win would, well, not overwhelmingly, but better for the win would be to play bar 22 there. Oh, 5-1. Maybe you don't even hit here. This is awful. Okay, yeah, and they would probably play 24 to 23 with the deuce. Now this does win slightly more. And maybe you give white some additional problems down the line by keeping that guy back on the 24. But you're getting gammon more, I'm pretty sure. And it's so hard to win this. What about hitting with the 5 and hoping he rolls like a 1 that's not a 2-1? This is unclear though, because I mean, white obviously wants black to play and like crunch his home board. I'm a little loath to let black out on 6s and maintain his board, you know. So I would either do this or maybe stack the 4. That seems like a tough decision to me. 7 to 5 is better than 8 to 6 here. Because you don't want your 7 point when the guy's anchored on the deuce, and you don't mind that coming in with the 6 point stripped. So okay, so Albert figures it out. Okay, so this is pretty much 4. So 5 to 3 is sort of a play, but no, I bring it in. I know no way this is a cash. You can play on, obviously play on. Gets the builders all nice and spread out. I like it. Possibly double match point. You do something else where you strip the 6. Now I just rip like a madman, and yeah, stripping the 6 is good here. So now he can clear that point. Next turn on a bad number sometimes, on like an average to bad number, like a, I don't know, 5-3 or something. Although there you might 5-3 you might rip too. Okay, yeah, I would continue to rip all. So gammon might be pretty close here. So you want to take on some extra. You might want to take on some extra risk to win the gammon, as Albert does here. There definitely are safer plays here. But yeah, this is good because it wins the most gammons and it doesn't pay that much extra risk long term. But again, double match point, you'd probably do something else. 5-1, decent shots. Ooh, black can't run it. He can't keep his board. It's a terrible roll. Yeah, this is fine. The 6 to 4 is a little more accurate, maybe. Ooh, what's going to happen? Oh my God. 6-1, 5-1, 4-1, 3-1. 6-2 is 2 blots, but just a single shot. All right, yes, you gotta save the backgammon here. Good. And then a gammon, yes, the gammon. So you just got double 6 there at the end. There probably wasn't a way to get double 5s, although I'd have to think about it a little bit. All right, so 3 away, 7 away. So it's going to be in a gammonish position. It's going to be pretty hard for Albert to get in a good cube. It should be very easy for David to get in a good cube if he manages to up the gammons a little bit. Yeah, this play doesn't look right to me. I think I see what Albert was thinking. He didn't want to split with the two and come into the sort of walk into the stacks. But even so, I think I would play 24 to 22, 13 to 7. It's a really nice builder on the 7 there because it bears on the entire inner board. But I don't think Albert's play is bad, is terrible or anything. I guess I would hit here and claim that I'm close. Claim the game is close to 50-50. Whereas if you stay back, I think you're kind of losing. All right, good shot by Albert. Oh, gross. I hit and hope for the best, I guess. I mean, what are you gonna do? Good roll 6-6. This game for optimists. All right, not too bad. Not too shabby. All right, well, at least he gets to make his 2 this time. Oh yeah, David's rolling terribly. Okay, this looks good. This looks excellent. Oh my goodness. You can even double a dance here at the score probably, even though he's not really winning. Yeah, maybe that would require some thought. Maybe this is no way. I mean, White's winning because of Black's four back checkers. Behind that decent 3 prime. It's a little thin, but okay, he's going for it. Okay, 3s and 5s will cover. Okay, decent roll because he gets to do something good with the ace in the backfield. Yeah, the White, you can still claim White as a favorite here. Okay, he's making some progress. White should not be leaving a double shot here. Good. Okay, yeah, okay, this plays conveniently 21 to 13. Acceptable risk. Okay, why not 13 to 7, 6 to 3? Yeah, I don't get this. You don't have to leave a direct shot against this strong board. It's not like you're up in the race or anything. Yes, that was an error by Albert there. Maybe he just didn't see 13 to 7. I think it was just an oversight. Yeah, that was odd. Unless I'm completely spacing on something. Like you want the guy on the 7 and not the 13, and I think you want the guy on the 24 and not the 18. All right, so you can double this now at the score. There's some gammons here. Wouldn't give it up as White, and make my stand here, claiming that I'm gonna enter next roll most of the time and have like a real game. But yeah, there's just enough of an edge here and enough gammons here to make this a decent cube, I think. But I think the take is still quite large. All right, nothing better than 10 to 5, I assume. I mean, if you wanted to get really fancy, you could play 13 to 10, 3 to 1, but you don't want the 2 blot. You don't want the 2 blots in your board. Black, that even might induce Black to attack on the ace point. All right, nice shot by Albert getting the backman going. Unfortunately, the 5 is bad, but it's worth it to get the backman going now. It's possible 13 to 8 was better there, but I don't know. Safer. 13 to 8 was safer. And actually, Black was all stripped in the outfield. And so, actually, I think 13 to 8 might have been better there. Because you want to get missed, and then Black has to make some big concession somewhere. It's not like Black has flexibility to play. If you get missed, Albert's play is better, though. Okay, 6 shots. He thinks it's acceptable risk because 5 to 3 is purely bad. I wouldn't be sure about that one. 5-4, I don't know. Okay, so you could play it completely safely, but to what end? Oh, the problem is there's no good run play. Like you pop out with, this is a quad shot, right? 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So If you just get hit once, it's not so bad, but there's a lot of double hit stuff, including like 2-1, 4-1. I guess I would end up doing this, but it's also antithetical to what black wants to be doing that I'm not sure. There's another play, you pop out with the 5 and then play 7-3 with some 2 duplication. So it's possible that was worth a look also. I'm guessing I would have ended up doing what David did though. All right, but anyways, David rolled a horrible 5-1. So if Albert can just enter, he's doing okay here. He's doing well here. Like even the non-hit, he's doing okay. I mean, Albert's not going to be doubling anytime soon. I assume at this score, your take point's like 9.5 or something. Because black gets to redouble to 8 right away. So yeah, it's not. He's got to. White has to like almost threaten to close out the last checker before he can claim black is near 9%. Yeah, I'm not sure. These checker plays are going to be tough for Albert. Like he could hit here, but you're gonna lose more gammons. So maybe you do make the 14, blocking 10, blocking 6-4, good outfield control. But I don't know. There's probably several candidates here, including hitting. I think I would end up doing this though. Want to hit with a 1 and maybe a 5, but threes maybe a little hitting with a 3 is maybe a little too destructive. Oh, this is a good shot. So we say 9.5. Yeah, this isn't really there yet. You got to be really clear. You got to be much closer to a 6 prime to cube this thing. All right, so 18-15, 7-6 looks natural. 15 point looks like a decent place for that checker. All right, I would hit here. 2-3 doesn't hit back that effectively. 6-2 is a good number. Dance here, he's sort of approaching a cube, but it wouldn't quite be there yet, I guess. All right, yeah. All right, so it looks like bar 19, 9-5 offhand. Because the guy on the 9 point's not really doing anything. It's not like it covers any bit of the outfield, and he gets hit on 6-1. And he can't block 6-6. The outfield checkers look decently placed where they are right now, you know. So yeah, I'm kind of having a trouble finding another play other than 9-5 here. Oh, here's another idea. I would not do this, but here's another idea. You enter with the 4 and play 14-8 and then double a dance, you know. But it doesn't look right because you're paying too huge to the 6s and maybe it's not even a cube on the dances on the non-jumps. Okay, I would do this also. David will not. Refuses to lose the 6 for David. Wow. And Albert has all these blocks. Oh, this is a hit. Wow, these cats can roll. I mean, now he's going to be threatening to lose his market if he slots the 8. Yeah, maybe you slot the 8 and then double a non-deuce, you know? It might have been worth a look. And double this, maybe? 9, does he have 9.5 here? I mean, on average, maybe he gets like one winning 6-1. Yeah, but this might be a double now. I'm not too sure about the take. I mean, you make the 8 point. I think you lose your market pretty solidly. It's not completely trivial to roll that home, and black still wins a few percent after being closed out. I wonder if this is actually double take. Sort of hard to find a double take at this score. Redouble take at this score. This might fit the bill. This is like, because it seems unclear whether black can kind of cobble together 9.5% here. So do I have this take point right? So I can pass and go to 8-2, 1 away, 7 away, or I can take and play for the win. Okay, so David thinks he doesn't quite have it. Yeah, this is very interesting. If he doesn't have it, it's within a couple percent. Yeah, interesting. I guess I can set that up in XG real quick if we're curious. You can also wait till after the match, of course, but kind of unusual to be able to find a redouble take at the score, you know. But Albert played it like so. It put him right. It put White somewhat around the take pass line. I can't remember whether White's 3-point was stripped or not. That could matter. Let's give White a spare there. So I can show you the XG position in a second that I'm putting in. Ooh, Albert is cruising here. Is he hitting twice here? Maybe. Be a good play. Be a good play if Gamma's counted. Maybe it's right even at the score. It just seems like it just kind of seems like the plan. 3 away, 9 away. Redouble. No, it's pretty big. Only 7% wins. Okay, so David had the right idea, and it's possible Albert missed a cube earlier. Yeah, it's within a couple percent though. Assume I had the take point correct. Analyze. So you can go to let's see, you can go to analyze cube information. Yeah, 9.3 is the take point according to XG. But anyways, okay, so David, David does not benefit from winning a gammon here very much. So he should be playing mostly like double match point, and so should Albert. So Albert should not do. Oh no, this is a good play. I didn't see you could hit with the ace. I was thinking come in with the 1 and jump out with the 5, which isn't a crazy plan, but I do like hitting like Albert did. Okay, good shot by David, and then definitely come up to the 23 because you got to escape that guy. Okay, now you pop out, I think. Yeah, this is too passive at the score. Excuse me. I mean, obviously he's worried about kind of leaving a double shot in the outfield, but he gets return shots, and it's great when black misses. It's great outfield control. So I think that was a real error by Albert not popping out there. And I'm not sure about this. I would probably find some block play if I was looking at that right. Could he go 13-9 squared there, or did he have to enter with 1? Yeah, I would probably block there, 13-9 squared, because White has 5 guys on the White has 5 guys on the 20. Seems like there's a big premium on like sticking another point in front of those 5 guys and then constraining White. The board's nice because there's going to be some hitting, but still, I think the blocking point should have taken precedence there. All right, so Albert's desperately trying to contain this checker best he can. I see that this looks pretty natural to me actually, even though I would like to hit. So with the 5, but just no, I guess I don't know because he gets to hit. Because he gets to play one of them out to the 17 after hitting. Yeah, hitting is a real play there. That one I'd have to think about. Okay, so now he's happy to pop out and hit. Yeah, even if Gamma's hurt him, this is the play. But Gamma's not hurt him, so this becomes extremely clear. Alrighty, okay, this looks natural. 5-1. Okay, pop out and stay there, only leaving sevens and tens and 13s, but it's hard to roll a 13 in this game. Do not overlook the hit. Oh, he's just misclicking. Okay, good. Oh, we can make the 7 or the 2. I wonder if he's overlooking the 2. It's not 100% clear, but I would end up doing this. Okay, let's see Albert's technique here. Can they one shot for better builders for the 7? Yeah, might be worth it, but I'm not sure. Also, he covers 1-6 better. This looks a little unnatural to me also. It's like he's like concentrating on like the wrong things. He should be concentrating on like making the 7. As opposed to like getting outfield control, you know? Alright, but anyways, it did work. Yeah, I don't know, there's several close plays here. You want to get another builder. Well, I think you want a direct builder for the ace point by either playing 8 to 7 or 8 to 5. Like I think you want to put yourself in a position to maybe hit loose on the ace. Even though it's going to be a tiny bit dangerous if black rolls small. I think Albert was just thinking about how big doubles played. Like for instance, like after Albert's played like 5-5 plays very well. But there might have been other priorities there. Okay, so David should not make it. David should try to like scare Albert into not hitting loose by like keeping a little bit of a 5 prime. So this is correct. I'm not sure about this because some 6s are bad. So you could play 8, you could play 11 to 3, and then most of your 6s play okay. Like for instance, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3 here played badly, and 6-6. So I don't know. It's probably possible there's something better there, but I'm not too sure. And then here I don't know, because black is back in the game with a big 6, like a 6-5 here. Black is in the game. So I'd have to think about that one. What Albert's thinking is he doesn't want to, like normally you hit loose here on the ace point, keep your 6 prime. What Albert's thinking about is, okay, David hits back with with a small 1, like a 1-2, and then Albert enters like right away, and then he's sort of counter primed. But the risk is pretty slight there. Because David doesn't have much time to play on his side of the board, and Albert has like a little bit of time on his side of the board. So I'd have to. Those are sort of tough plays for me. Usually, even if the timing, even if you are going to get counter prime some, usually there is a big premium on hitting there, taking on a little bit of risk to take black out of the race. Anyway, so Albert brings this one home. And we can take a look at some of these decisions in XG mode. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about some stuff. I'll put Albert on the bottom. Yeah, match PRs weren't too bad. In the 4s and 5s, according to GNU. Honestly, I expected a little higher based on the stuff I saw, but probably off. I mean, these guys are good players, so probably off on some of these plays. What was this? This was the 1-2 game. Okay, no, this is a pass. It's a pass due to the score, right? So actually, there was some interesting decisions in this game, wasn't there? What was it the previous game I'm thinking about? Where I thought David should be getting the backman going more. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game, I think. So got Albert on the bottom. Oh yeah, the 2-2. Okay, yeah, David had the right idea, making the board. Okay, nice. Oh, 3-3. Yeah, okay, yeah, 3-3 is a big error. Right, so obviously Albert does want to contain that back checker, because if that back checker escapes, White's looking very good. Probably has a cube, even if he's down in the race a little bit. Yeah, after he escapes and black rolls big. Um, so yeah, this sort of a big premium on like hitting the checker here. So even though you got to screw up your front position to do it, like so, it's worth it. And White's very flexible on White's side of the board. So not only does hitting like contain the back checker, keeps it from escaping, but it keeps White from building or attacking. And the 10 point becomes more valuable because it bears on the open 6 point. I mean, don't get me wrong, you'd rather have the 6 than the 3, but it's not so bad because you got those builders there. Great shot by Albert. And then yeah, so this I believe this is a take for money and a pass at the score. Let me save this match, and then we can look at like just one or two variants. You might think, well, it's 1-2, right? It's just like 1 point difference in a long match. How much can the score matter? It matters quite a bit here. It's not just that Albert is losing the match that argues for David being conservative. It's that he's 8 away. So if he doubles and wins a gammon, he gets to this comfortable 4-way score. So being 8 away, especially when down in the match, is like a reason to be aggressive. So this is the score-based this is the score-based eval. For money, he has to take score reversed. 7 away, doubling 8 away. It's a pretty solid take. This score actually is funny. I had a match with Marty Storr at a live tournament recently, and this score came up, and he offered me a 4 cube when he was 7 away, and I was 8 away, and it was more. I think it was more gammonish than this. And so it was like a blunder to redouble at 7 away 8 away with the 7 away players doubling, and it's a pass the other way around if 8 away was doubling 7 away. So this type of score was sort of fresh in my mind. Oh, but it was a redouble. You know, this is different because it's an initial double. But yeah, the score the position that came up against Marty was a redouble. So that makes the score matter even more. It was like a gammonish redouble. So yeah, good cube handling there. Ooh, 8-1. Yeah, I think I would have done what Albert did. It's pretty sick to strip the 6 though. Split is a good thing though when the other guy's up on the bar. Okay, I find the right play here. We talked about this. And then, oh yes, it's borderline on take pass. Probably is a pass on a rollout. But yeah, I don't know. White has his 11 point and no other blots other than these two. So Black's attack is Black's attack is good in the sense that there's 11 guys here. But the guys aren't placed particularly well for the attack. Like for instance, if like instead of 2 guys on the 11, you had 1 guy on the 11, 1 guy on the 9, and then you move a guy 8 to 6. That's a lot more potent because the checkers are in much better places to attack. So it's not like all 11 in the zone positions, 11 checkers in the attack zone. I mean, they're not all created equal, obviously. It makes a huge difference where they are, right? This is a huge pass, 11 in the zone, right? So it looked like David correctly analyzed that. And it's 7 away, no big deal on the score. Okay, Albert attacks. David rolls a nice 3-3. Yeah, good attack here. Good cover here. Good attack here. Yeah, nothing. I don't think there's anything else White can do with this 6. Okay, yeah, there is something else Black can do with this 4. 8-4. Just good in the sense that you got more coverage for the deuce point, which is what Albert was thinking. But it's bad in the sense that you're going behind, you're going deep, right? You're going past the open 5-point, and it's bad because you do want to get the backman going a little more up in the race big after you hit, and it's a little less stuck back there. But I don't know. The 2 comes in handy. 5-2. Yeah, hit here. Yeah, you should hit here. After his play, he's leaving a bunch of shots anyways. 5 shots anyways. At least 5 shots. Yeah, just 5 shots. I was thinking for a second, like, oh, 4 hits, because 23 to 7. 23 minus 7 is a difference of 16, but no, of course it's blocked from the 6-point. But yeah, so you hit, you gain on the misses, and you're not leaving that many more shots if you hit. Right, bar 20, 11, and 9. Oh, 6, 6. Oh, okay, 18 to 6, 11 to 5. Okay, so the computer slightly prefers a more positional option to making the 5 and the 2. A little more of a priming play. So like this versus this is pretty close. You can buy it. Good. Nothing better. Okay, the computer wants to stay back, but David plays more safely. Oh no, he doesn't play more safely. He clears the mid. He's supposed to clear in the 7. 11, I mean. Right, so I guess there's 3 plays, right? There's 18 to 7. There's clearing the midpoint. There's clearing the 11 points. So apparently, the computer because down in the raise, the computer wants to stay back and maintain extra pressure on these on this position here. Yeah, 2 would looked a little funny at the time. Yeah, 15 to 12. I guess the computer's just thinking mostly about minimizing shots. And maybe there's more value in keeping the further back point down in the race like this. I don't know. $15 to 3 versus 15 to 6, 4 to 1. I guess 15 to 3 is going to be better for the race versus creating like sort of the semi-gap on the 4. I'm not sure what Albert was thinking there. Oh, so you can make it. Okay, what happened, I think, what happened was he was happy about being able to make the 6. He was like pleased that he was able to make the 6-point. And so he made it and then looked around for another 3. He didn't think about breaking the 6-point. I think that's what happened. And then, yeah, 7 to 2. It's a little better for the race to bring 2 guys in. Saving a 6 doesn't seem to matter that much. I think maybe David was thinking a little bit about saving a 6 here. So he could like maybe stay back again next turn, but that doesn't happen on many numbers. So the computer just wants to sort of win the most races reasonably. This game's going to be a mess. 3, 2, 13 to 11, 8 to 5. Good. Right. So yeah. Okay. So this is good, right? This is sort of opening theory, right? This is like this game demonstrates how important it is to understand when to build in the opening and when to split and run in the opening. And Albert played it well and David played it badly because Albert understood the theory better. So David makes the deuce point here, and so it's perfectly appropriate at the score to do that. Making the 2-point with a 6-4 tends to not win as many games as the other options, but it wins more gammons. So when he's down in the match like this, that's what I would do. I would up the gammon so I maybe can get in a good cube earlier and make it harder for my opponent to get in a good cube. So I assume that's the computer's choice, but yeah, it's fairly close. So with the other 2 reasonable options. So that was appropriate of David. You actually can't split here, but it's a little more thematically. David made this like low point in his board, so black should be thinking about not splitting into the blitz and maybe working on a priming game. The problem is, I know this play is always pretty close. The problem is it's not that, with only 8 guys here, it's not that dangerous to split, and this isn't a great priming play. So this play is somewhat close for money, and maybe at the score you split because, I don't know, maybe you win fewer gammas that way or something and win more games. But this is a close call because neither play does well for priming. But black should definitely be thinking about more priming here, which is why Albert did this. Here, okay, so here, yeah, okay, so here, like, okay, so these 5-2s are a little close. I mean, I would probably end up splitting here because again, I want to get the backmen going well up in the race. But you are. Again, black doesn't have great priming structure. He does have decent hitting structure because of these big stacks. So that's why bringing 2 guys down is okay. Okay, but now white has this nice. Now white has more guys in the zone, and he has a low point in his board made. So white should definitely be thinking about attacking here if he can. So black now is a little loath to split into the attack. Again, with the 10 guys in the zone, the kind of a little stack on the 6 and the low point made. So that's why Albert makes sort of this more primey play, where he keeps the anchor. He does this, right? He keeps the anchor. He slots a good priming point, and he's sort of aiming towards this priming battle, where he's going to have the edge, not just because of the priming point, but because he's down. Because he's down in the race. So this was a very good play by Albert to do this, not splitting into black's attack. This is a very good heads-up play. Now white needs to be thinking the opposite here. White's up in the race. He's got the worst priming structure. So he should be thinking, okay, I need to get the guys going, even though it's maybe a little bit dangerous to split. But black has the blot, so it's not super dangerous. So he needs to make some sort of split play here. Yeah, and I'm a little surprised. This is close, but the best play is the play that gets the backman going and makes the 11 point. That said, this isn't too bad for some reason. I would think this is a little more of an error, but it is a real error. But yeah, so it makes the 11 point and gets the backmen going. Again, Albert makes a priming play, right? He doesn't split the back checkers into the attack. Well, he's down in the race and has the better priming structure. So yeah, so his play is pretty reasonable. You can also keep your 11 point and just go all out for the prime. This is kind of nice because it duplicates 3s. And we see how big of an error splitting is, right? Even though it's not super dangerous to split, but it's just it's wrong thematically by a lot. Again, look at the race, right? Albert's down, David's up. So David with this 4-2, again, even though it's dangerous, he should be getting his back checkers going with this 4-2 here. And it does it sort of conveniently. Now what David's thinking is he doesn't want to split into this attack. But I mean, if he stays back, he's just getting primed to hell. Which Albert does. Albert makes another nice priming play. Keeps the anchor in the back. Never get attacked. Gets hit sometimes, but still he has this nice prime to back him up. Okay, he does get a decent again. Okay, hit is obvious, and then you really got to think about getting the backman going pretty good, right? So the computer likes hitting and doing the best split available as opposed to making the priming points. So David, what David did was this, right? Makes the 7 usually a good point, but it leaves the backman primed. It leaves the backman stuck. And a lot of this is predicated on the fact that white has this 2-point made, this sort of bad priming point, but good attacking point made. Okay, Albert gets a decent 3-2. Okay, yeah, we see even here, White can make like a really good blocking point, but the computer doesn't mind leaving a shot and getting the backman going a little bit better. I mean, it's wrong, but it's not like wrong by a ton. It could even be right on a rollout to forgo making the beautiful 8 point and you know, get the backman in better shape to jump. 5-2, good. 2-2 again. White's up in the race. He's out primed. He needs to think more about getting the backman going. So the computer just like moves everything up, even though it's a little more dangerous. Four one. Yeah, this is the same error. This is the exact same error, right? He comes in correctly on the with the 4, trying to get that guy out, but with the 1, he makes the safe play, but it's still super stuck back there. So we see next time Albert rolls 6-2 and blocks him nicely, and then like White's in trouble if he doesn't hit. White's in big trouble if he doesn't hit. So the computer's play again takes on more risk to get the guys going, right? To get the guys out from this awesome prime that Albert has. That's where Albert's. I used to say, you want to play to your strengths, right? In the opening. This is well into the game, but it's sort of the opening in the sense that like one player is like trying to build up a prime and the other player is trying to escape. So you want to play to your strengths in the opening. White's strength is racing and attacking. Black's strength is priming. So White really should be thinking about like counteracting this prime. So it's like this. It's the same error over and over again. He should be running. He should be running. He should be running. You know. This is like I don't know. It's good. It'd be good for like. It'd be good for David to really study this game. Fix his opening theory. Yeah, like 2-6. I mean, now he's dead. You know, if he had played into the 22. If he played into the 22 point, he could jump with the 6 with the 6-2. And then yes, 2 is too good here, right? Yeah, a little bit too good here. 6-5. What's the play here? I didn't notice anything here. Okay, yeah. So Albert doesn't. Albert should be making the ace point so as not to get attacked, because that's Black's only game plan at this point, to attack, hit something in his inner board or in Black's side of the board. So the computer wants to keep the anchor here. This wouldn't have been completely obvious to me. I guess I would have found this because I mean that is White's only game plan. There's probably some cubeful stuff going on also. That might be somewhat closer cubeless. Okay, now it should go double pass. Now that White made a little bit of progress escaping the backman. But Albert plays on and gets a great gammonish position. Yeah, here's a little optimistic, although yeah, bar 22 would be best for the win. Okay, you can't hit loose, but Albert slots. Yeah, I don't know if you can't hit here, but yeah. White should minimize gammons by playing 24-23. White's play wins a little more here. It might cause keeping this guy back might cause Black some extra problems down the line, but obviously gets gammon a bit more. And yeah, tricky stuff here. Okay. Yeah, 2 different game plans here. You can either prime and hope White cracks more, or you can hit like Albert did. Sorry, let me go back. So this is the original position, right? You can either stack the 4 point, let White play and crack his home board some more, or you can do what Albert did. Hope that White rolls an ace. That's not 2-1. forced to hit, and then black might pick up another checker, fifth checker, and white's going to crunch badly in that case, more badly than if black stacks the 4-point here. Better for the win would be to stack the 4-point. Yeah, good play here. I don't like 8 to 6. Good. And I think it just go. No, white. It just goes gammon. Oh, he goes undoubled gammon here. Yeah, black plays appropriately for the undoubled gammon by bearing off aggressively, and then yeah, there's nothing. He misses, and then, yeah, there's no way to get more than 6-6 here, I believe. Yeah, say only 6-6 saves the gammon. There's no way to get 5-5. Let's see, he goes 6 and 9, 15. Yeah, if he had perfect, he only has 15. He's 15 outfield. He has 15 outside pips to get guys into the 6 points. Right, 6 from here and 9 from here. So that's a little bit of a clue that if you can get this perfectly efficient, you can save the gammon with 5-5, because you take 15 pips to bear in, and then you get an extra 5 that you can bear a guy off the 5. Which you can't do that. It's funny if you're on the if he was on the 21 point. It's funny if he was on the 21 point and the 17 points, the same number of pips. You could actually get 5-5 to save it by playing 17 to 11, and then the 5 out, I guess. But yeah, you need the checkers in sort of perfect spots, right? Oop. Sorry. I was like thinking about this position, 6-5 here. Like in other words, like one way to recognize that you should think about 5-5 here is the fact that after you play the 11 pips, you have 15 outfield pips to bring the guys into the 6 points. And it just so happens that you can organize your checkers perfectly to get 5-5, right? So people are going to miss that. Oh wait, am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. Right, you play this, and you get 5-5 to bear off. Here it doesn't matter because black's almost always bearing off in 2. But it's like more important if it's if it's this position. You're going to give up a couple percent, 5%, 2%, 2+%. You're going to give up like 2+% extra gammas if you don't think about this correctly. Isn't that cute? So I always like that shortcut. You can count up the number of pips that you need to go into the 6 point, and then use that as as your first step in determining what doubles might be possible to get. People don't seem to do. I always like talk about that in Chouettes and stuff. People don't seem to do that. Yes, that was a pretty badly played game by David, but all the blunders were due to like misunderstanding one concept. So like that's like an easy thing. That might be an easy thing for David to fix. Like I always say, this is a hard game to learn, but because there's like so much to know. But that's kind of good in a sense, where like if you have this hole in your knowledge, and it's like in a pretty important hole as it is here, it might be easy to fix and like make like big progress in your game. And this stuff is especially important because it just comes up so much. In fact, I made a post on the Daily Puzzle. Oh, I can't remember. No. Maybe I was commenting on a position where I was emailing with a friend of mine about an early game position, where No, it was a YouTube comment actually. I remember it was a YouTube comment where I made an error where I should be splitting. No, I'm sorry. I should be building because I was down in the race and I did like some split with the A's, and I mentioned sometimes there's like not a lot of equity at stake in these little like aces here and there where there's like arguments both ways, but they're important to get right, not because they're always like huge errors to get them wrong, but because like it just comes up so frequently. Like this concept just comes up like in a lot of games. Anyway, so Albert does bring home the gammon. All right, let's just finish this up. Yeah, this looked a little funny to me, but Albert's play's not too bad. Probably does well for saving the gammon, but yeah, I would have found this just because I like the builder on the 7 point when there's like no anchor because it bears on the entire inner board. Okay, yeah, you hit here. So these plays are a little unclear sometimes. I usually like to like whether to hit or cover a good slot in your board. What I find helps me a lot with these plays is I try to think about how much of a favorite or an underdog I am after each play. Like for instance, if you build to 5 points, it should be like pretty clear you're an underdog, right? The structure is going to be sort of similar after white rolls. Maybe black has the slightly better structure. Of course, white could roll like something really awesome like 4-4 and get better structure. But like white's going to build a good point. Black has one more point made than he did at the start. So yeah, and most importantly, white has escaped a guy already. So white's a pretty clear favorite here. Now white's a favorite here also if you hit, but it seems a little less clear to me that white's a favorite here. Because if white misses, then black takes a decent lead, and getting hit's not that bad. So I often think in those terms in these types of decisions. I find it's quite helpful. Okay, white is appropriately attacking. Yeah, don't double this. If black completely danced there, I'm sorry, here. Well, black completely danced here. Maybe could cube, even with the 4 men back at this score. We're 7 away, 3 away. But yeah, he entered 1, so yeah, he's not doing well. The white's not doing well. Yeah, white's still an underdog here. White is now a favorite, but not big enough to cube. White ended up getting like a decent cube in this game, eventually. Good play by Albert. Good play by David. I mean, with the 5-3. Yeah, I didn't understand this. I would expect this to be a bigger error. It's not that. Maybe Albert did see the right play here. Maybe he thought, 13-7 doesn't really do that much because it gives the anchor on the 4. So he says, all right, I'll take this opportunity to get the back man going. So maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe you would rather be on the 18 than the 24. I don't know, but still, you're supposed to do this. Keep out of harm's way. Versus what Albert did. Gets a little punished, although David apparently should play a little safer here. He has quite a few shots. 6, 7, 8, 9. It's actually 10 shots. So a little expensive. The right play is only 3. Yeah, you're saving 7 shots by playing a little stodgy. White gets in a good cube here. A good double, good take. I don't think you would double this in most match scores, but 3 away, 7 away with some gammons floating around, there's enough. Oh, okay, good play by Albert here with the 5-4, leaving extra shots. I probably would have gotten this one wrong. You get missed. I guess it is a little hard to make progress here, but it's. I was thinking, okay, so this is minimal shots. Although you are paying. I guess the other idea is you're paying much bigger to the hits here than you are here. You're losing more in the race, and this is better when missed. You know. If Albert and I were playing a chouette, we probably would have had a discussion about this, and I probably would have been able to convince him, and then I would have felt bad that it's wrong. Maybe not, though. Maybe he would have been able to convince me. All right, he pays 2x. He pays 6 shots here for the better position. I can buy it. Computer does like playing all stodgy with the 5-3. Oh, this is a tough play. This sucks. I know. I'm sorry. The 5-4 is so destructive to play safely. Um, yeah, David took his time on this appropriately and ended up with a good play apparently. Um, I mean, you don't want to do this, right? You want to get the backmen going. Well, you have the much stronger board, and you don't kill the checkers. But boy, this is a lot of shots. 6-6 and 6-1 miss. Getting hit once isn't that bad, but I get there's a lot of double hit numbers also. My computer doesn't think it's too bad. I thought maybe what was I thinking? 21-16, 7-3. There's some 2 duplication in the outfield. Of course, black has all sorts of additional hits in addition to 2s. You know, you got 4s and you got stuff that's attacks inside. So it's pretty bad apparently. Okay, makes the 9. Probably something a little better. Gets hit. White's desperately trying to come around, but cracks horribly. Okay, good play here. He's trying to position his outfield checkers to contain the back checker. Gotcha. You double this at some match scores, but yeah, definitely not at this score where the take point is 9+. Okay, it hits here. It would probably hit here also, like Albert did. Albert hit here, but the computer actually likes just getting awesome outfield control, only leaving 6-6 as a shot. It is maybe a little hard to follow up on the misses here. It's a little hard to cover. Yeah, I probably would do what Albert did. Okay, bar 1995. Yeah, this looks pretty clear. LBC no double. Okay, makes the 13. Okay, hits here. The computer wants to go 2-1. This is kind of weird. I mean, what the computer's thinking is okay. So there's no great numbers here. You know, like there's hits, but what black's really stuck. And then there's 2s that come to the edge of the prime, but you don't get to hit with those. So it pushes 2-1. Yeah, this might be Atlanta loses fewer gammons. I see. Yeah, like Albert's play apparently wins slightly more. I was gonna say there might be like a cubeful thing going on. Like it might be a little closer to take pass. It might be a little close to being a double on White's bad numbers. Does Albert win this somehow? Yeah, Albert rolls 4-4. Jesus, what a roll that is. Computer says it's worth 2.235 equity. So it's worth like over 2 games to roll this 4-4. Because he's getting gammon and now he's winning. Okay, yeah, so apparently Albert, just double take? This might be double take. I know it's double pass here, yeah. Only 8% apparently. I guess the computers think it's just not hard to make. It's just not hard to make a 6 prime here. And then, as we talked about, that's the pass. Would have thought long and hard about taking. Okay, he's attacking. Attacking. It doesn't work. Good. Containing. Oh, and then e6, 5. Yeah, this looked odd to me. Yeah, bar 14 does lose slightly more gammons, but gammons don't really help white at the score very much. And it's just much better for containing the back checker. White's hitting in the O field, obviously, if you make the computers play. It's usually hitting in the O field, but it looks like black's getting lots of return action in that case. And you get missed is fantastic. Great O field control. So I'm better with the 1-1 for some reason. Oh yeah, 6s don't crack. So this is David's play. Like, you're blocking 6s kind of nicely, right? But one bad thing about this is 6-1, 6-2 don't crack black's front position very badly. So the computer has this other idea. It says, no, don't block the bigger number, block the 5s, because 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, 5-5 crack the home front pretty horribly. So it's like it's better to block the 5s here than the 6s. Talking about when black rolls those numbers, you know. Subtle. And the 2-2, yeah, 2-2. I mean, David does something good, making the 2-point, which is nice because he's probably hitting at some point. But yeah, I just thought you want to constrain these 5 back checkers. So the 9 point has a ton of value. Now it might be a little if white rolls badly, it might be a little awkward. But that's true the other way too. Good, good. Okay. Oh, 14-7. No, I did see this. Yeah. You can either make the 2 or the 7. Keeps white dancing a little more. Oh, and it uses this checker is sort of hard to use now. If you make the 7, these checkers are sort of easy to use now. The checkers in the O field, because you're gonna be slotting the 7 if white dances. Yeah, I thought here you maybe want another builder for the 7, because you do want to slot that. White dances. If you could put a checker on the 7, you're probably going to want to do it, at least if you can get another builder in the zone. So this is a little slow for making the 7. I think what Albert was worried about, he's worried about 1-1. Right, so the right play pays off a little bit to 1-1. But more important to focus on the 7 apparently. Okay, no, he likes Albert's play here. Yeah, I would have done, what would I have done? I would have done 15-10, 14-8 here to spread out the builders for the 7. But Albert had this other idea, which apparently is correct. Or this, yeah, maybe this is better for my play for some reason. But yeah, Albert just kind of extricates everybody. Going to have great flexibility in the future without any risk of getting stuck. Or attacked when you run with one guy later. Okay, spread stuff out. Makes the 7. 3-1. Yeah, okay, everything's pretty close here. Makes sense. Yeah, I guess white's just down to the dreg, so the plays don't matter that much. But the best play does load up the builders for the 1 point. So maybe the computer is thinking a little bit about hitting loose next turn, even if it does incur a little bit of risk. And we'll see if the computer hits there. Yeah, Albert's play, it's okay, but it does give him some bad 6s, more bad 6s than other plays does, I guess. Yeah, like here. Yeah, here you must hit, apparently. I mean, I see exactly what Albert was thinking. White still has this decent prime, and black is a little bit out of time on his side of the board. So if you do the right play, you could get counter-primed, right? White rolls 1-2. Black enters with a 1-5. He's cracking right away. But black's fine if he dances or if white hits with like a 1-5, 1-4, stuff like that. It's kind of okay. The 1-1-4, there's still some counter-prime chances. But yeah, the risk is just slight enough that the computer doesn't mind hitting. And I think that's fairly common. Like you take on, so the upside is you get missed, which usually you do, and then you get to fill in the ace point nicely, taking white out of the race and leading to long-term safety. So it's different. It's different if white has a better prime, right? So it's important to distinguish between the match position and this position. Here you don't hit, because the chance you get counter-primed is much higher. So here Albert's play is fine. Now it's similar in the sense that, well, you're still getting counter-prime some. It's just much, much harder for white to counter-prime here. So you do want to think carefully about the timing on the other side of the board. And in fact, if you're not going to hit, the computer, I think, does not break the 7 point. It plays 5-2, 5-3 or something. 6-4, 5-2 is better. Maintaining the ability to make the 1 point later. So I think if Albert thought about that play, he probably would have done it versus breaking the 7. But he was deciding between hitting and not, and didn't think about like the third option. And now white's in the race, even with a 6-1, white's in the race. He wins 20+% here. That's like his worst 6. 6-6, he's like winning. But Albert rolls big enough to win the match. That's a good match. Yeah, pretty decently played match. Pierre's in the 5s. But yeah, for David, I mean, if he watches this, I want to think about the blunders he made in the early goings where he should be getting the backman going. That might be an easy place to make big progress. Just like I said, the concept comes up so often. And okay, so he made a bunch of blunders, but basically it was just like one concept he was missing, right? That could have like fixed all those blunders. So yeah, it should be a good day it should kind of be a good day for David, in the sense that, I've identified sort of a clear place where he can like study a little bit, play around a little bit, and really like make a big improvement in his game. The goal, I think, a good goal to have when seeing one of your blunders, if you can engender an attitude in yourself where you're almost happy to see like a blunder with like a clear concept behind it. You think, oh, I'm doing this wrong. I should be able to fix this error. I should be able to make a big stride in my game. If you can get to the point where like you're kind of happy to see that, that's like a really, really good attitude to have. I don't claim to be the best at that, but I think it is something to strive for. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section or a question. I'll get back to you. And I hope you got something out of this, and we will see you next time.